softball. Let's play ball. Now, we've all heard this phrase a time or two in our life, and we all know exactly which sport it goes to, baseball. But I'm not here to talk about baseball. I'm here to talk about softball. Now, most of us think that softball was derived from baseball, but it actually wasn't. It actually goes from the website Athletic Scholarships for young athletes that want to go and learn more about scholarships that they might want to get for that sport. They're able to read a little bit about the history of that sport. And the story goes, on Thanksgiving Day, 1887, there were two separate alumni, Harvard and Yale. They were at a boat club. And what happened was, they were waiting for the football game of Yale and Harvard to be announced, the winners to be announced. And when the winner was announced, one of the alumni took a boxing glove and tossed it playfully at another alumni. He playfully took a stick and swung at it and hit it. And one of the reporters at the club said, "Play ball." And that's technically where the first game of softball came from. Now you're all thinking, what the heck? Well, that was the molding path for it. That helped lead up to my favorite sport, softball. Now, I've been playing softball since I was yay big. And everything I learned from softball, I learned from my dad. And he's been playing for a long time as well. Now, I'm here to inform my audience today of the greatest summer sport. Now, there are 3 things that you need to know about softball. First, that's the history, sorry. First, you need to know equipment. Equipment is really important. The second thing you need to know is rules and regulations. And then you also need to understand that the sport is for anyone. Okay, first off, you have offense and defense, and your gear or equipment is different for either. So when you're on defense, you have a glove, and that's crucial for fielding the ball and making plays. And on defense, you have a couple of items that you can wear, but the most important one is your bat. You also have a couple of options, batting gloves. You do not have to have them, but they help make the bat not vibrate much and keep you from getting blisters. And then also a helmet, it's optional to a point. If you're 18 or older, you technically don't have to wear a helmet. If you're 18 or younger, you have to wear a helmet for safety precautions. A lot of people don't think about a field as a piece of equipment, but it completely is. As you can see, this field here is not a well-kept up field, and this field is. The safety of a well-kept up field can be a big part of the game. If you're playing on a rugged field, you might take a ball to the face because of the divot, or you might step in a hole and roll an ankle. We've all been there, we've done that before. Moving on, the next thing you need to know are the rules and regulations. There are many important rules, and they all vary depending on which league you're in. And all the rules that I use are from the 2015 official rule book for softball. And I'm just going to go through a couple of the rules. The first one there I have is, this is how it differs from baseball, is you have a 1-0 count. You start with 1 strike on you. There's a couple of rules here. You have you have 10 players on the field. You can have less, but you obviously want 10. You can't have any more than that. And that rule varies if you're playing co-ed. You have to have 5 girls, 5 guys. If you have 5 guys or 4 girls, you can only have 4 guys on the field. And then we got another rule here that is batting regulations. Depending on which league you're in, again, you can have certain bats. Each bat has a stamp on it that verifies that it's okay to use in that league. The next one here, we have an infield fly rule. If the ball is hit in the infield, caught or dropped, that player is out depending on how many outs you have. Courtesy rules on foulage. And then we have some just common ones that are the same for all softball games. You cannot stand in the baseline unless you are making a play. If you're making a play, you have to take them. All plays that are not force outs have to be tagged. So if you have a person on second, the ball is hit, the person on second takes off for third, you have to take them out because there is no force out play. There's a pitching. Pitching also varies depending on which league you're in, but most are, you have to have a 3 to 6 foot arc. So that's kind of finishes up the rules and everything, so moving along. The most important thing that you need to understand is this sport is for everyone. Doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter how old you are. So my dad still plays softball, also for younger kids. He's 57, also for younger kids. It's a great way to integrate them into playing fast pitch or baseball. They can learn the game at a slower pace. And then for older people like me, I play it for pastime. It's just a fun game to get out there and play. You don't have to play in a league to play. You can get friends together and do it. Also, what's really cool about this sport is it is a sport that can be adapted for those who do have disabilities. And it takes a lot to get those games together, but seeing the joy of those kids that won't technically be able to play any kind of sport, it's a really cool thing to see. I'm going to summarize everything up. Softball is the sport that you can play for a lifetime, but it's important for you to know the kind of equipment you need. It's also important to know rules and regulations, and it's also really important to understand that anyone can play it. Once you know all these things, you can finally join in and you can play, or join in on a fun and play sport that you can play for many years. And like my high school coach always said, rain or shine, it's a great day to play ball. Oh, comments or questions? Anybody have comments or questions? I have to videotape that too. I need 2 questions at least. Think of something.
How many balls and how many strikes do you get in softball?
In softball, you get 2 strikes, 2 balls.
2 strikes, 3 balls?
Yeah. Well, depending on if you have a courtesy. And
what are the different stamps on the bats?
there are 2 different stamps. There's an ASA, I don't have a picture of it, but there's an ASA stamp and a U-Trip stamp. It looks like a thumbprint with a little design in the middle, and depending on what is engraved inside is whether or not you can use it for a stuff.
What's your favorite bat?
Miken. BJ.
Can you use a USSSA bat in an ASA game?
You cannot use that in a AAA game.
Can you use an ASA bat in a U-Trip game?
I think you can. Pretty positive you can. You're supposed to like shake your head yes or no. No?
I don't think you can anymore.
Okay, well last year you could, because I did. Because I had a bat that you could use in both leagues. So, no more questions? Okay, great. Thanks everybody. Have a good day.